Hey guys, Joshua Zamora here with another great session with you in the Samurai Dojo, and I have one regular visitor here and one new guest here. We have Devin Zander from Money Mindset and Mario Samino.
You got it. Yep.
Samino, perfect. We're going to be talking about some awesome SEO stuff, some Penguin update stuff, and they're also going to be going into a great demo video of a killer software that's not only going to help you rank for easier terms, but it's also going to make the monetization process a whole lot easier for you. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be jumping into that after we talk about some juicy SEO stuff. So guys, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure, and let's go ahead and first get started. Kind of give us a little bit of background of where. I know Devin has talked about it a little bit before, but maybe you guys want to talk a little bit about where you got started, what you were doing before you got into this whole internet marketing stuff.
Cool. Well, I'll jump in real quick. Thanks again, Josh, for having me. Always fun. And I'm sure all your people know how I got started. Basically, back in the day, I was living with my grandma, and I was like, you know what? I should pick up girls. And then eventually I was like, maybe I can teach people how to pick up girls and make a website on it. So I sold pickup guides, and that's how I got into SEO and stuff, ranking for weird pickup terms that nobody wants to know about. And basically,
it seems like those pickup artists have their own whole lingo, man. It's a crazy industry.
Oh, yeah, man. We have the jargon. And basically, yeah, it grew into a huge SEO empire of what I am today.
Nice.
Just a lot of fun stuff. Mario?
Yeah, so thanks for having us, Josh. And I got started about 8 months ago. I was in construction before that, and I was working in some not very fun places underground. And I actually brought podcasts, actually MP3s from Devin and Alex Becker over at SourceWave, and I was listening to their guides on SEO and hearing how they were making money online. And I actually went to a networking group here in Boston, and I found a roofer who was looking for SEO. And there was tons of SEOs at the networking group, and I was like, okay, I have to differentiate from everybody else. So I went up to him and I was like, hey, you want SEO, but I know you probably need a website too, so you shouldn't hire two guys. You should hire me because I can do both. And he was like, oh, all right, cool. So worked with him for about, he's been a client for about 8 months now since I started, and he's real happy, and I just understood the value of local SEO. Got a couple more clients, and the thing that I was really jealous about with guys like Devin and guys like you and Becker is that you guys seem to be doing a lot of, I don't want to say affiliate sales, but didn't really have to deal with local clients like I do. And it's like I said before with Devin, when you deal with all these local clients, it's like having more than one girlfriend. It's really hard. And I wanted to get more into the internet marketing field and get away from the offline marketing. And that's where I found Devin, and we started working together, and that's how I got here today.
Awesome, man. Of course, this is way back in the day when both of you were young, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's a big thing. That's one of the reasons for me as well that I kind of avoid local SEO personally, because of that same thing of having not only having to sell your service, but then if you get that client that is kind of becomes a job, having to baby someone the whole way. So and that's awesome. I mean, only 8 short months ago. So for those of you watching that think that it's not possible, I mean, as long as you stick through it. I mean, usually it takes people a lot longer. I know for me, it took me a whole year to figure this whole thing out. So no matter where you are, everyone has their own different time frame for really breaking through. So let's kind of jump into some of the recent updates that Google has been releasing, which is the latest Penguin update. What have you guys found? What's it about? Who's it's affecting? What have they really targeting? What have you guys found out from that latest Penguin update?
All right, I can go first. Mario, would you like to go first? Doesn't matter to me.
You can go first. Go ahead.
All right, so basically, all the Panda and Penguin updates are sort of the same thing. So if you can kind of get a grasp on what they're doing, it's kind of easy to avoid it. So with Penguin, what they're really doing is they're looking out for thin content and things like that. So you want to have really, decent content and have everything. And I know a lot of people like Alex Becker, they rank their websites with only pages and stuff, or an image of something. But trust me, I mean, if that website's around when the update hits, it's not really going to go too well. And duplicate content and stuff like that. You want to make sure everything's clean. Now, Panda update, that's in my opinion the more effective one, because that one really goes into your linking. So with that one, it analyzed all your links, and if you like Mario we had a webinar the other day, and what he was saying was the way he avoids the Panda updates, he did a study between all his websites, and what he did was he checked the ones that dropped and checked the ones that didn't, and the repeating factor was the ones that didn't drop all had anchor text, or the ratio of their anchor text compared to the other keywords. His main keyword was always under 5% of all his keywords. So just keep your anchor ratio super low, and that's the way to avoid the Panda updates, and then always try and vary your link types and all that, and keep it looking as natural as possible, and get a healthy mix of everything in there, and then just use a lot of diluted anchor text. You hear it all the time. Click here, and then what's really gotten huge now is brand names, because Google's moving towards more of a branding perspective type thing. So they want to see more of your brand in the search engines and in your backlinks and all that. I mean, they don't want to see you building backlinks at all. But if you are building backlinks, make sure you use your brand name, and just click here, your URL, tons of URLs. I do like 50% URLs when I backlink, somewhere around there. I can't remember the exact numbers, between like 45 and 50%. So that's just a huge sticking point of avoiding those. And in my opinion, Panda is definitely the one to look out for, because in my experience, that one's always hit a lot harder.
Yeah, and they keep refreshing it over and over, so that's the one, well, at least not both of them, but Panda is the one that's been around the longest. So
yeah,
Mario, if you want to go ahead and throw in what your thoughts are as well.
Yeah, Devin pretty much covered it, but 100% is really watch out for the anchor text ratio, because my site got hit for Boston plastic surgery, and I had 30% as the anchor text, and the day that Penguin came out, it got hit, and really haven't been able to recover it, even applying new links to it. Some of them I have been able to recover, some of them just don't want to budge. With Panda, really it's a content thing. So
did I have it backwards there?
I think you had them reversed, yeah. So with Panda, the content thing is Matt Cutsis keeps on saying, unique content, and the total 100% white hat guys will say, content marketing, or as Becker calls it, like the content fairies. But really, this one guy had a great quote, Eric Enge from Stone Temple Consulting. He said, if you search for French toast online, there's 31,000 results, but there's really no need for more than 5 articles. So a great thing to think about. And the reason why a pro of local would be that there's not much competition, so that when you are creating something, it is extremely unique. So of course something like how to lose weight would be extremely competitive, because I'd imagine there's 400,000 results. So with Panda, you want to make sure you have extremely unique content, and I would look out for the URLs. Like, for example, if you have, like, let's say we're targeting roofers in your town. So you could go with the exact match domain. Personally, I like branded URLs, because the branded URL is just one of those things you can do to avoid being obvious. I mean, exact match domains, there's a huge debate. I think that they have their pros to it, but I think that it's one of those things that you can do to just be a little less obvious, is to go with a branded URL. And so let's say the URL, for example. With Panda, you could do, let's say we're targeting the keyword roofing Boston. Instead of roofing Boston, which is a little bit more short tail, we could do roofing contractor in Boston, Mass. as the URL. That's a little bit more long tail, so you're probably going to rank for that long tail keyword anyways, but you'll also rank for the short tail keyword, and you're a little less obvious again. So that's really the Panda. That would be my tips for Panda.
Awesome.
Yeah. And the good thing about branded URLs is that it allows you to create more of an authority domain and kind of branch out into just more than that one area as well. So that's always something to keep in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So now let's talk a little bit more about ranking locally, and how much easier that is, because most people, like Mario, you were saying, they want to go after those real big keywords, that are, getting crazy amount of search volumes, and even though they know it's going to be very competitive, they go after it anyways. So what are some of the more less competitive terms that are still available locally. So maybe some of the niches and some of the things that you have found that are less competitive and are you can easily rank for them locally and still make a good amount of money.
Yeah, so when I first got started in rental sites, which is a different, you could say, business model in local SEO, I had a niche list created that was 45 pages long, and I had a VA pretty much gather all of the niches from every directory site that he could find, including Yelp, Yellow Pages, Super Pages, all those big authorities. And I kind of just looked through the entire niche list, and I was like, I'd be interested in getting involved in roofing because my whole family's been in construction their whole life, and I was in construction and know a little bit about the industry. And the thing that I was really interested in was the ticket price per customer that the client would earn. And the reason for that is so I could earn more money. I could charge them more money. So, for example, let's take when I first got into the whole internet marketing area, it seemed like a lot of people were using like pizza shops and restaurants as examples for marketing for local SEO. And it was funny because, let's say a pizza shop sells a pizza for $12. That's probably what it goes about here in Boston. Let's say you bring them 50 extra people through their restaurant or their door a month. I mean, you can't really charge them too much, and maybe they'll just break even if you bring that many people. Now, if you're charging a roofer and you get them one job, they can get $14,000 off of one job, one roofing job. Now you're charging them $2,000 a month or $1,000 a month, and they're just going to love you. I mean, some of my clients, when we see each other, it doesn't even feel like a client. They're just like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" And it's great. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think the local stuff, not only is it uncharted territory, the niches that you want to look for are the ones that have the high ticket price, and there's just so many niches out there with this local stuff.
And honestly, you'd be surprised at what gets the high ticket prices, because I've recently found out that the guys who do your driveway, so like I've never thought of targeting, like driveways, Clearwater or something, the city I live in. I wouldn't know what the exact keyword would be. But those guys get like $10,000 to $15,000 per job. So they can afford to spend, like $1,000 to $2,000 a month to get that one extra lead. So it's kind of crazy which niches you never would imagine to target are actually sometimes the one that make the most, because you hear about charging $800 a month per lawyer, and that seems like a lot. But here's this guy that does driveways, and you could charge him $1,500 a month.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, oh, there you go, you came back, but your camera had gone away for a second. But yeah, so that makes total sense. And the other good thing about this as well is when you're going after those people that can put a bid in the 5 figures industry, all you have to do is send them 1 or 2 calls a month, and they're happy. Instead of having to send someone who charges a little less, you have to send them a bigger volume of calls for them to be like, all right, this is being worth my investment. So let's talk a little bit about kind of you mentioned Mario, the rental strategy. Many people watching this might not understand how that works. So walk us through that process. Do you create the site first and then look for the clients, or do you look for the clients and then make the website? How does that whole rental process work? And before we get into that, kind of explain how that whole business model works, because it's completely different than actually taking on local clients.
Yeah, so there's basically 3 monetization strategies or ways you can have clients in local SEO, or ways that I know of, and that's the regular client, so sort of like a consulting, or you're basically a freelancer. And there's also the rental strategy, which I mentioned, and there's one more, which is lead-based strategy, which is basically charging them per phone call they get or per email they get. My favorite is the rental strategy, like you had mentioned, and what you would do, you could rent the site first. My favorite way to do it is, buy a branded domain versus an exact match domain, and renting or ranking for multiple keywords, maybe one county at a time. So I might find a state, break it down by county, and find all the small cities within that county. Then I would rank all those keywords for every city, for example, roofing contractors. Then I would go out, and the easiest way to prospect for new customers or for clients for you would be to just see who's already advertising in AdWords. and I would go to Google, type in that keyword, and see who's advertising in AdWords, because these guys they know what internet marketing is if they're spending money on AdWords, or they understand the value of the internet. So you're not really pitching a cold customer or a cold lead. And what you would do is call them and to say, hey, I'm number one for roofing contractor Boston, and I'm getting all this traffic and I'm getting these phone calls. Personally, I put a call tracking number on the website so I can show them that there's real calls. And I use CallFire so they can listen to the voicemails, actual voicemails of people looking for roofing jobs. And it's just really no sale. I mean, these guys hop right on.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're showing them, you're kind of selling them with the goods already there. You don't have to kind of like wait to show them. So once the calls are there, boom, it's an easier sale. Now, you said that you rank within the different cities in the different county. So when you create the site, do you kind of try to get one client for each city, or have you ever done it where you have multiple clients on one website?
It depends on the amount of traffic. Usually I'll watch it for the first month and see how many phone calls are coming in for the city. If it's a small county, like for example Boston is a capital, so it's going to be getting a lot of phone calls. I've seen one of my clients, the roofing contractor that I had spoke about, he gets about 60 phone calls a month, and it depends on his sales team to convert those into actual jobs. But for something like that, charging $1,200 is nothing to him. I mean, it should be much more. But a smaller city, like for example, Linfield, which is around here, you could charge anywhere from $300 to $500 a month. So really, you kind of have to gauge how much traffic is in each city, and it's up to you if you want to, because you're owning that asset, the website. You have to say, how much is this worth, and do I want to go to this guy and say, hey, do you want to rent the entire county for $5,000 a month, or do you want to rent just a couple pages? And of course, it's great to have the whole site populated with a bunch of clients, but personally, I'd rather just send all the leads to one or two guys.
Cool, makes total sense. So let's talk a little bit about getting the actual site ranked. What are some of the things that you do when it comes to on-page SEO for local sites, and also off-page SEO for local clients, to make sure that all of that process works? And what have you found also is kind of like the time frame that you've been able to rank for local clients?
For local, again, the larger the city, the more competition there is, usually, and it also depends on the niche. Like roofing seems to starting to get populated now, just like lawyers and dentists have been for so long. It seems like roofing contractors are starting to get a little saturated. But depending on the niche, for example, Devin was talking about driveway installation. You could get that for a small city. You could get that ranked in 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours. Because like I mentioned, the quote by Eric Enge, you're creating that unique piece of content, and Google's like, okay, we have nothing else to show for this. Let's show this. And so something like Boston, would take about 2 to 4 weeks.
Cool. And what are some of the backlinking strategies that you have found today that are most effective for getting these sites ranked?
With these type of sites, really, you just want to link to the homepage and maybe some social bookmarks to the inner pages just to get them indexed. But really, there's not much backlinking because it's just such low competition, and it's that unique piece of content. So maybe just a couple high PR links to the homepage to get it really indexed and build that trust with Google. And that's where the on-page SEO, of course, comes in, where you're making sure that you have siloed your site correctly. And for people who don't know what siloing is, it's an internal linking structure that basically sets the theme of your website. So when Google looks at it, it knows how it's categorized and how it should be indexed.
Awesome, good stuff. Now, just real quick before we jump into some more on the software that you guys have, what are some of, like, when you set up a site so that you can collect leads and get phone calls for a client, what are some of the must-have things that you put on the homepage to make sure that that site converts at a high level? Because the last thing someone wants is to rank the site and then you're not actually getting any calls. So what are some of the must-haves that you include on every website to make sure that you're getting a high conversion rate on a phone call or lead gen or things like that.
Yeah, it would still follow the basic, I would say, standards of any internet landing page, and that'd be a strong call to action. So for local, you would want a lead form, and depending on the niche that you're in, you would put the amount of information that they would need to make the phone call. I use name, phone number, and email address, and that's perfectly fine for the client sales team to give a call. And also just have your client's phone number or your call tracking number somewhere prevalent on the page, and a nice logo, and I would say a nice streamlined design.
Maybe some testimonials up in there too.
Yeah, very true. Testimonials.
Nice. Awesome. So now let's talk about the big problem with people avoiding local SEO, and that is, because a lot of people, they can get through ranking the website, and then when they actually have the website ranked, the biggest problem is getting that client, going out there networking, or going out there and calling people, going out there and having to put that effort into closing the sale, because like I said, anyone can sit home and rank the website, but then having to actually call someone is the big problem, and that's when you guys come in and have really created something really good to help solve that problem. But let's talk about that a little bit, and really, how to better solve that problem so that people don't have to go out there and get scared when they pick up the phone call.
Okay, so basically, there's really no way around it. The only way to make cold calling easy is like Mario said earlier, which is to go on the page you're ranking for and go on AdWords. Go on AdWords and to contact people that are advertising, and chances are you're ranking above them, so you contact them and be like, hey, I'm ranking above you. Pay a little bit more or give me your money and you'll get more leads. Other than that, that's the easiest form of cold calling, and it's not really a cold call because they're already advertising, but other than that, it's really a pain in the A. So that's actually why we came up with this awesome plugin that I would like to talk about whenever you're ready, and show them how they can actually just like skip this whole process and never have to call or contact anyone or even sell anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've seen a short demo video, and it really helps to get over that, because I know me personally, that's one of the reasons why I kind of avoid local, is because I'm scared shitless of cold calling someone and be like, hey, I got this site, you can want some leads. So yeah, go ahead and I know we're gonna do a short demo video, so if you want to jump into that or talk a little bit about it before jumping into the demo, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just jump in. I have to figure out how to share my screen here. Jump right in. All right, let us. All right, so you can see me, right?
It should be popping up any second. There we go.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, you guys know that local SEO is easy, okay? You can rank for these websites easy. The huge problem, like we discussed, is renting out the pages. And it's not like you can even make money with these websites because, okay, so you're a surgeon, right? And you've ranked, or you're not a surgeon, but you ranked this website for Clearwater Surgeon. Now, it's not like there's an affiliate program for it or anything, because you have to go to school to be a surgeon. You can't sell a book on how to be a surgeon. So the only way to make money off this is rent it out. But you don't want to do the cold calling. So basically, that's where our plugin Rent-A-SERP comes in. So as you can see here, we've got this Boston limo service here. Now, we don't want to sell this. We hate cold calling. You hate cold calling. Everybody hates cold calling. Nobody likes it. So what we developed was this little plugin right here. And they can order it right here off the page, and we never have to contact them, so we rank it, and then they see the page, and they see the little plugin at the bottom. Oh, hey, I can buy this page. So all they'd have to do is enter their name here and their website that they want to put here, because usually they'll have their own website, and if they don't, they can just use our theme. But hopefully they have their own website, because that is what makes this plugin so awesome. And then right here, they can do a 5-minute trial, or they could just rent out the page. So if they click rent now, they're going to rent out the entire page, and it's going to go to PayPal, and it's going to charge them $600 a month. If they stop paying, it takes the website down, okay? So let's do a 5-minute trial real quick and just kind of show you what happens. So as you can see here, this page has been rented for 5 minutes. To rent this page for a month, order now. And that would take them to the PayPal page. So as you can see, it's still the same URL, and it's my entire site here. So I can just, I can do anything here. It's literally my entire site has been overlaid on this.
Nice. So the domain hasn't changed.
Yeah.
It's just they're able to overlay their website onto the theme that was on there before.
Yeah, and the really cool part
Nice.
is it's iframed over, and we've got a really cool iframe technique that we've been working on for months. So the old website's still there. The website that ranked is still there. So they're not going to lose the rankings because Google's not going to be like, oh my God, all the content's disappeared. The site's still there, and it's still going to rank just fine. So if we refresh this, the trial should be over. It's actually just a 1-minute trial right now, just for demonstration purposes.
Nice.
And
So it
now
just goes away right away.
here is what's really awesome. Let's go inside the theme real quick. So let's say that whoever was renting our page decided, like, hey, I don't want this anymore, and they stopped paying. So you remember we entered our email before. What it does is the plugin saves all those emails. So what you can do is you can go over here to bulk email, and you can email everybody who signed up for a trial before and never bought. And you can kind of be like, okay, here's what I'll do. Website now available, $100 off, limited time. So we would send an email out to all these clients or whatever that were interested in the site and give them $100 off. So we were making $700 a month, okay? And he was like, okay, I don't want to pay anymore. We send out this email. 2 hours later, we have a new website rented out at $600 a month. Now the thing is since these terms are so easy, it takes like an hour to 2 hours to set all this up and get it ranked, and then it rents itself out on autopilot. Sorry. And you do this 4 or 5 times a week. All of a sudden, that's like $3,000 right there from 5 days of work, and then you didn't even have to do any selling. All you had to do is put this easy to rank website up and rank it.
Nice. And for those people in the higher end markets that want to change the price, they have full control. If they want to charge $1,000 a month, they can go ahead and do that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can do all that if they want to. And if they want to do custom negotiations, like if they're negotiating with someone through email, they can just head over here to the plugin, and they can set up their subscription outside of the theme as well, and they can just set up the URL they want right here. So if they set it up right here, and then we'll go back, and you'll see that it does work that way as well.
Nice. Now one big question that I know some people may be asking: what if the local client is brand new to the market and they don't have a website? What kind of solutions do you have for that?
That is where our Rent-A-SERP theme comes in. As you can see, it comes with the theme here. And the theme has all the customization anybody will ever need. So it has the homepage SEO. Like Mario stated earlier, all he really focuses on is the homepage SEO. So you set that up here. You just enter their logo right here and their alt text right here, in a header if they have one here. Their social media, if they have social media accounts, you just put the URL in there. And then the little opt-in form you see, it comes pre-populated, so all you have to do is fill out this information right here. It's really, really simple stuff.
Nice. So that allows, man, that's amazing. So it basically what we just mentioned before of a high converting homepage, that's how the theme is built.
Yeah, it's already a proven it's the same one that Murray uses on all his websites, proven to work, high converting, completely awesome. And then we have a spot for their YouTube video, and all they have to do is enter the URL. Like, it's so technically simple. You don't even have to embed any HTML or anything like that. And then, of course, like we mentioned earlier, the powerful silo structure is built in. And then, basically everything they could ever want is just built in right here in the theme. So the goal clearly is to rent out the pages. That's the bread and butter of this. But if they don't have their own website, you can use the theme. And as you see right here, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that looks great. I mean, that right there is literally a high converting theme. It's got the image, the logo, and then the form and the phone number up at the top right.
Yeah, and then the social media would go up here too, if I'm not mistaken, right, Mario?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so that all goes up right here as well.
Nice. And so also, I mean, just from me thinking, ideas popping into my head, not only can someone charge them monthly to rent out the site, but if for some reason that person doesn't have a website, you can basically sell them the theme as well and try to get more money on the front end like that.
Yeah, you could build the theme as well. You could build their website too with the theme, and it's so easy to customize. It's just literally fill in the blanks. So you could probably squeeze out an extra $1,000 just to build them a high converting theme.
Nice. That looks awesome.
It's cool that you brought that up because I never even thought of that.
yeah. I mean, that's an extra $500 or $1,000, but look, you don't have the website. You already have it built in. Just charge them to insert their information.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good thinking.
Nice, awesome. So Rent-A-SERP, when is this coming out? When can people get their hands on it?
Okay, well, it'll be coming out June 9th at 11 a.m. Eastern, so Monday.
Monday, awesome. So Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Let's talk a little bit about what they're getting. So when they land on the page on Monday, what are they going to get? Are they getting the plugin and the theme? Or are they getting just the plugin, just the theme? How many licenses? All of that good stuff.
All right, so there are two options when you buy. You can either get the theme only, or you can get the plugin and the theme. And unlimited licenses on both of them. You can install them wherever you want, however many times you want. I don't care. We don't care. So it's unlimited completely. And with the theme, you get the beautiful theme, of course. But like we mentioned earlier, the bread and butter is obviously the plugin. So that is probably the best choice. And it's $37 for just the theme, or $47 for the theme and the plugin. And I also like to mention that for the first 3 days, the price will be $47 for the theme and the plugin. And then it goes up to $67. So, if you're on the fence about it, it might be smart to take the dive before the 3 days pass up. You don't want to spend an extra $20 for no reason if you're going to end up getting it anyways. It doesn't make any sense to do that.
Yeah.
And then on top of getting all that stuff, you also get 3 bonuses that are really awesome. The first one, and probably the best one, is a list of 2,000 niches that you can apply this to right away and just start making money. So the idea behind these niches is it has every single local niche you could ever imagine. From completely obvious ones to dentists to extremely obscure ones like, fortune teller or something. People that are doing online advertising. So it has everything in there. And the idea behind those is you can pick one of these niches, build a website in that niche, throw Rent-A-SERP on it, and be ranking in 7 days, and then have a page rented out within 2 days after that. So a 9-day process. And that's the idea with the 2,000 niches, and that's huge. That took us 2,000 niches is a lot. That took us a lot of time to compile, and it's like 50 pages worth of niches. It's completely insane.
Nice.
And then on top of that, we also have a high PR network guide. Like we mentioned earlier, the best way to rank is with those few homepage high PR links. And so we've compiled a guide on exactly how they can build their own high PR network and how they can do it really cheap, and that'll allow them to get the SEO power they need to get started with their website and to do it really quickly. And then one more thing is we're holding a live training, like an SEO Jumpstart live training, so they get that as well. And that's all they get with the front-end purchase of the theme and the plugin, or just the theme if they choose.
Nice. And I read through the high PR report that you guys put together, and
yes.
It's literally step by step. And a lot of the stuff that you mentioned in there, people can get a high PR domain for less than $100. And
yeah, that's we've really simplified the whole process. So you can get, I think I built a website of 20 high PR domains for $500. Super
nice.
Cheap. Usually people are paying $6,000 for something like that. So
yeah, and the crazy part as well is, with literally just a handful of those links. I have a buddy of mine who crushes local SEO, and he just uses a handful of those high PR links. Because it's so the competition is so little locally that just 5 or 10 local links, and boom, you shoot right to the first page.
Yeah, 5 links, and the thing about it is if you get them targeted correctly. So if you build your own little PR network and you have it super targeted, you have it very niche specific and everything, you're going to rank like that, and they're never going to lose power. So you can use them. You could build like 50 websites all in that same niche and use just those 5 websites and just do them all around the country, and you just be ranking on easy like that. So you spent $100, maybe like $100 is a stretch to build that network of 5 sites, and you're making over $10,000 off of it. It's a no-brainer right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know I'm going to get this question as well. Are there any upsells? If you want to kind of touch on it a little bit. What is it? How much is it? And how can it better help them? And why they want to make sure that they pick it up as well?
All right. So there are 2 upsells, and the first one is what we call the 14-day landlord. And what that is basically it's a step-by-step guide. It's not one of those things where we teach you something, right, and we're like, okay, now go try and apply it. Like, we taught you this, go try and apply it. It's not like that at all. It's one of those things where you just listen to what we say. You do what we say. We give you the whole guide. You take it, you apply it, and then it's working for you in 14 days, okay? and it could work for you in less than 14 days. On typical results that our beta testers have been getting is, if I'm not mistaken, 5 to 9 days. But we went with the name for 14 days because not everyone's at the same skill level. So we assume that people who are the most inexperienced, as long as they follow what we say, will be succeeding with it in 14 days. And that's $37. And with that, it's all video training, step by step. Just follow what we say. And we even give them a nice SEO blueprint for those who do not have much money to spend. It's like the shoestring budget SEO. We give them resources on how they can get their websites ranked really cheaply, and just basically how they can. Another thing, totally skip past this. We know that the idea behind Rent-A-SERP is to rent out your pages on autopilot without you being there, right? This is totally hands-off thing. But something we do teach in the OTO is how you can sort of turbocharge this process and really speed it up and get these websites rented out ASAP. So you really are making that money within 14 days. And then we also have the second OTO, which is the same as always, our mastermind group, where you can just come in and hang out and talk with us and learn and get private training and stuff like that.
Nice, nice. Awesome. So, I mean, guys, we all know that there's huge money in SEO, in local SEO. I mean, I've seen friends of mine go from $0 to $20,000 a month just locally. I mean, the money's there. I mean, ranking the websites is easier than going after the online marketing, big high keyword stuff. And now with Rent-A-SERP, things are a whole lot easier because it kind of eliminates that whole process of having a cold call and having to go out there and chase clients. Yeah. So if you're watching this, I mean, you've seen the demo. I'm sure they're going to have a more in-depth demo come Monday the 9th. So you want to make sure you look out for that. And also, not only that, you want to make sure you get the upsells as well. So you get that 14-step guide so that you can put it all together with the training and obviously the theme and the plugin. So I mean, Devin, Mario, thank you guys for being here. I mean, I'm excited to get the hands on my Rent-A-SERP myself and start putting it to work. I know there's been a few niches that I've been really wanting to target here in Miami that I know I can blow it up with.
I have a friend who does exotic rental Miami and real estate Miami local, and he charges both those guys like $2,500 a month. So with the prices there in Miami.
In Miami, I mean, this is one of those. That's why I asked if you can change the prices, because here in Miami, I mean, if you're charging $600 for SEO, I mean, you're probably somewhere, in the hood charging people who don't really have money. Because here, I mean, you see Bugattis driving around all over the place, so you can really get into that higher end market. So, guys,
they customize all that and set it up to their liking or their clients' liking or whatever they want to do.
Nice. So thank you guys again for being here. For those of you watching, make sure that you look out for my email Monday the 9th at 11 a.m. Pick up Rent-A-SERP. You want to get the theme, you want to get the plugin, and you also want to get the training and access to the mastermind group. There's one thing that I've found is that having that extra support where you can go and ask questions is invaluable. You can't put a price on something like that, especially when you're going through through the steps and you run into some of those roadblocks. There's nothing better than going to a place where you can ask questions and get them answered almost immediately. So you want to make sure you pick up the entire thing to make sure you supercharge your SEO and get you to profit a lot quicker. So again, Devin, Mario, thank you again for being here, and I look forward to talking to you guys some more.
Yeah, man, thanks for having us.
Thank you.